Hey guys, welcome to Adventures with Edna. I'm Chris. Unfortunately, we are not going anywhere today. Today we're going to start taking Edna's new transmission apart. I know what I want to do to it, but I want to be sure that I order all the correct parts. So today is going to be the first part of the teardown. So let's get started. Alright guys, you may have seen this transmission in the previous video where I went to pick it up, and if you've seen my other video where we took the top off of the current transmission in the truck, you'll know that Edna's transmission is in bad shape. If you haven't seen either of those two videos, I'll drop the link in the description below. I went ahead and cleaned this off camera, which I'm glad I did, because if you remember from the previous video, the whole thing pretty much looked about as nasty as this. So it took about 5 hours of cleaning this with oven cleaner, degreaser, wire brushes, and a pressure washer. But you can see now it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna end up painting it because I don't want it to start rusting. You can see it's already getting a little surface rust on it just from the past few days. I didn't bother cleaning the top here because I'm probably going to reuse the one off the transmission that's already in the truck. But either way, this is a small enough part that I could soak it and get it good and clean before it goes in. So I didn't bother with that. One thing I didn't notice that I didn't think I was going to have to replace was, if you look closely, this bushing right here looks terrible, and you can see there's a pretty good bit of wiggle in there. So I want to replace these bushings. This is operates the clutch fork. So I'm going to take that out and replace both of those bushings. Going to do a new throwout bearing and a clutch before it goes in the truck. This is all going to come apart because I want to replace all of the seals and bearings. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and take it apart now, just so I can see everything that I'm going to need, so that way I only have to order parts once. Start tearing into this thing. Yummy. Alright, as you can see, the gears in this look really well. If you remember from the other video, there's tons of wear in all of my teeth. So this one looks, the gears are much nicer than the ones that Edna's currently got. And it's also kind of nice to have one that's not broken. If you look here at this synchronizer, this one is pretty worn out, but I plan on replacing that. And even though this one's fine, I'm going to replace it as well. I'm going to get the bearing that goes between these two parts here. Also going to replace the bearing here and the bearing here. Going to get a new seal for back here, all new gaskets. There's a little bit of fluid left in there, but nothing to get excited about. I'm just leaving it in there for now, just so nothing rusts while I'm waiting on parts to come in. But everything looks pretty ordinary in there. It's a vast improvement over the current transmission. I think if somebody's been in here before, you can see these bolts should have had a wire through them at one point, so those aren't there anymore. So it's either rusted away over time or somebody's taken it apart before. Well, that came off easier than I expected. This bearing doesn't look too bad, but I'm going to replace it anyway. This looks really dirty, but I think it'll be okay as far as... This is where the gear for the speedometer cable rides. There's the other gear inside here. And other than looking a little dirty, I think they're okay. I don't think they need to be replaced. There's a snap ring here that holds this bearing in, and then once that comes off, all of this should come out. That's the little return spring for the throwout bearing. Definitely don't want to lose that. Yeah, you can see the wear in this one. It's rocking back and forth, so that bearing definitely needs to be replaced. That came off easier than I expected. I kind of thought that I would have to cut the camera view and screw with it for 20 minutes. Alright, so I got that little snap ring off right here. It turned out to be one of those really awesome things that you see in videos where it happens off camera. So, that's off. Alright, so there is not a lot of videos online that I could find on disassembling this transmission. However, Zach with Wired Customs had a great video disassembling his. So I took a little break and watched him take it apart, and there's a little bit more to it than I thought. So fortunately, I know what all I need to replace at this point. I know what bearings I need, and he did a really great job of explaining how to take that all of this apart. So I'm going to go ahead and order the parts that I need for this before I take it apart any further, because I would like it to at least be fresh on my mind, the disassembly and reassembly process when I actually do it. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here, but I'll give you a quick little look at what we got done. So we got both of these keepers off, this one here and this little one right here. So this part is actually loose and will slide in and out now, but it hits the gear right down in here, preventing it from coming out. So you actually have to take this one out the rest of the way from where I have it now. But to get that out, I have to take the reverse gear down here out, and then it should all come apart. You can see the needle, stay. You can see the needle bearings down in here. Those are going to get replaced. There's another keeper on there. I'm going to go ahead and purchase the detent for the synchronizers and get that replaced as well. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. I'm going to move this project indoors onto a table where I can have better lighting and a better setup, because this is going to be a little bit more involved than a tailgate rebuild. But we're going to be back next week with Chance, and we're going to hit up Cars and Coffee of the Upstate, so look forward to going there and seeing some cool cars and meeting some new people. So thanks for watching Adventures with Edna, and we'll see you in the next one.